Hey, good morning everyone and welcome to another episode of Good Morning Soul. And this is gonna be a weird episode. I'm gonna be talking about one of my fears. And I don't think that many people have when I think of fear, it's either like you are like kind of specifically like tailor-made to fear that. Cause if someone is thrown off a building, everyone's gonna be scared of that. If this is a Kevin Hart reference, if you wake up and there's an alligator in your room, you're probably gonna be scared. But things like clowns, I'm talking about that type of shit. And I don't think I have really any of those. I'm not scared of spiders, I'm not scared of clowns, nothing like that. I'm not scared of, weird little things that I can think of. I think I have some fears that like might go into that. I'm kind of afraid of driving without directions or just stuff like that. I'm afraid of being alone for like long periods of time where nobody is talking to me. Like I need voices. Thankfully I live in a world where I can put a voice on at any moment, so I'm also scared of not have all my friends moving and leaving and shit like that. Little things like that. But there is one fear that I've kind of gotten over, but it still lingers, and that is my fear of the 1950s. And I say that as a joke because it is kind of a joke. There's a specific time in my life where I was scared of this very niche thing. It's not actually like the 1950s. It's not like a decade in time, but a lot of media that I was like watching at the time. Like I remember watching this movie called Pleasantville, where the main characters do the classic, oh, we somehow wound up in a movie or a TV show type thing. And the TV show that they teleported into was called Pleasantville, which is like a old school black and white 1950s, super cheery, like everyone talks like, hey Skip, how you doing sport type of show. And yeah, that shit scares me. When anything is black and white, like everyone's incredibly happy, it fucking, like, at that point in time, just scared me. Like, I specifically remember this one scene in that movie, where the two main characters just landed in the universe, and they're kind of just, like, interacting with the characters. They've taken the place of, like, two already existing characters, so when they walk up to these parents' characters, the parents think that they're, the same people, when in fact, they're not. So at one point she's like, there's this mother character who's like, hey, sit down and have some pancakes. And then it's like, really? She's like, nah, I'm good. Like, it's a very 90s attitude. And then she's just like, no, you're gonna sit down and eat these pancakes. Or she says something along those lines. I just remember that scene, the way it was filmed, the way the characters' expressions are just all 100% committed to this. It frightened me. And it's also very ironic because one of my favorite games is a game called Fallout 3, which is a game where you basically enter the 50s. It's a futuristic 1950s post-apocalypse. It's like society got stuck in the 1950s, and then 100 years passed, and then a bomb dropped on it. It's a very specific world. And it's funny because there's a section in Fallout 3 where you literally go into a simulation that is basically what I'm afraid of, which is a very cheery, disturbing. It's exactly what I was afraid of. And I remember the first time, it's called Tranquility Lane. That is the section in Fallout 3. And I remember the first time I played Fallout 3, that scene that area, like, now I can play it no problem just because I'm used to it and I know, like, the whole area up and down. But when I was foreign to that scene in the game, I was just freaking out. I remember just kind of, like, handing the controller to my brother and being like, yo, do you want to play the next, like, however long? Do you want to get me out of this? Because I already saw him kind of do it. So I was aware that that area was a thing. And it was scary. It was a scary time. Nowadays, it's almost kind of like I'll think back on it like it's a joke that I have this fear. But at the same time, there are, like, whenever I see anything along these lines, when I watch, like, what is that show, like I Love Lucy or whatever, and I see, like, certain clips or whatever, it's all weird. I don't like the hair, the everything about how people dress back then, the tucked in shirts, the cleansly order, and the overt happiness, and the black and white, and the, like, gazing into your soul, all of that shit. I didn't like any of that. The enunciation, everyone's talking in this enunciated voice, I didn't like any of it. No. But yeah, that is my fear of the 1950s, and I don't have anything else to say. And with that, I leave you.